Hello everyone, this is Nazneen Abbasi and today I'm going to introduce class practicals, which will eventually help you to form your internal assessment for this new curriculum where we are going to have exam in 2027. So welcome to IB Psychological Curriculum first assessment, which it will be in 2027. The goal is to here particularly is to develop psychological literacy, and it is in simple way, it is you are moving from simple to a complex or dynamic idea. This here we are going to apply real life principles, and today we will look into class practicals, core content like depression, HL extension, mindset theory, and you will prepare for external exam and your internal assessment. So this is the blueprint of this exam, which will be uh, conducted in 2027. So paper one will have a short answer theory questions, then application unseen scenario for 6 mark, and concept based question like measurement, change, and all that responsibility. Paper two will be practically design, and it is evaluation of methodology, and it will be looking into practical class practicals, the first section which I am going to elaborate today, and evaluating research studies. Paper three will be data analysis. It is only for HL people, and you will have a stimulus booklet and a graph interpretation and evaluation of qualitative research and thesis, and you will be analyzing sources. So if you see, all three papers are very well established, but reality of these paper will only be understood, or the measurement of the difficulty of these paper will be only understandable after we finish assessment for this 2027. And for class practicals, we will be doing basic experiments like Stroop effect and or either Glanzer and Kunitz or something real life per se. So here, if you see psychology as a empirical sciences, in which we will be doing 4 research method, mainly experiment, observation, survey, and interview. And we will be selecting our research method most considerable for to get a precise data and to have to understand the ethical implication. According to IB guideline, you have to obtain informed consent, confidentiality, and minimize participant harm. So we will not be doing anything which will harm participants in any way. And for example, we can't conduct anything related to anxiety, that provoke anxiety or that provoke triggers PTSD, something like that. So we have to be very mindful. So if you see, this is the role of class practicals. It's basically the experience of your classroom. Then it helps you in deconstructing paper three. And then it finally you will learn how to do your internal assessment. So these are the 4 methods that we have to keep in mind while we are going to do uh, your class practicals, interview, experiment, observation, and survey. And if you see, these all methods allow you slight manipulation, and there is an element of control, and there is an element of artificiality. And then, although this is what you will understand the process of cause and effect or causation or anything else. So the second thing which is very important is ethical guideline when you do any experiment, and that is the requirement for class practicals, that you have to ensure that your participants which you have chosen for your experiment are aware about their rights, and they have the liberty to leave your experiment whenever they feel like. And this is one of the most important aspect of this class experiment. So for HL, this is for people who have opted HL psychology. So this is an example which is I have taken from the book, which says that, for example, this mindset theory, which talks about growth mindset and fixed mindset. So if you see, growth mindset talks about core beliefs, motivation, responses to failure, and then what it leads to result. But whereas fixed mindset talk about, again, it also talks about there are core beliefs about it. Are you motivated, intrinsic or extrinsic, response of to failure, and result? In both scenario, we are just seeing two side of coin. One with where someone is ready to change, and second side is when there is problems or difficulty to change. In both the way, they are applying the same principle, but using a different methodology or do, and that is how it works. I'm measuring invisible mindset methodology. Now the thing is, if you are opting for HL extension for class practicals, how will you can measure mindset, fixed or growth? So the thing is, we can do self-report, behavioral analysis. If we have time, energy, and resources, we can do MRI, fMRI to figure it out. Then critical thinking of paper 3. I am missing on paper 2 connection because I think that is not important for today. But if you want, I can add that. So paper 3, how it links to paper 3, because it talks about that how different baseline or psychological vocabulary associate, and how you see psychology from a scientific or psychological point of view. It's also help us to understand data analysis, biases, and measurement of different types. And of course, it leads to understanding of different ethical side of paper 3. So the measurement dilemma. So if you see in paper 1, we cover core concepts like learning and cognition, health, brain development, and anything. Here, the concept-based response were analyzed through ideas linked with biases, causality, and paper 2 focuses on practical skills of data analysis using a research booklet, multiple sources, and require your interpretation, graph synthesis, and finding to evaluate claims. So if you see, the class practicals are leading to so many things. It is 30 hours of your schoolwork for paper 1. So synthesis and thinking like an examiner. So research proposal is designed based on real world problem, what you see around, problems in population of their interest. Secondly, you won't actually conduct a study that which allow you to propose more complex design like longitudinal study, or longitudinal study means we are going to study the same sample multiple years. Rather, you must justify the methodological choice. It's basically an elaborated research proposal where you are going to tell that which research methodology will work out well, and you will justify why, what ways you will collect data, means experiment, observation, interviews, or and you will critically discuss the research biases. What are the problem with this particular researcher or the research biases? The task is to demonstrate the ability to think like professional psychology students. In short, this is actually to make you more psychological literate. So the golden rule of paper 3, don't just memorize, interrogate the method. So this is what we have to do individually, or we can do it in pairs. You have to come up with real world for class practicals. You can use anything out of experiment, observation, and you can conduct your own with the help and create a booklet or whatever you will need to work on. But you have to have 4 class practicals. Thank you so much for listening to me.